Hi everyone, this is Autopostrophe. Let's check out Beauty Bounce on Nintendo Switch. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. And you're right. Let's take a look at the options. Is there no voice acting? Oh boy. I'm going to be reading all these. I'm going to be reading all these parts. I have a feeling there's like very few male parts in here too. Alright, well, let's review. Beach Bounce is a wondrous resort full of beautiful girls, and it's all yours. It hasn't been an easy journey. You only inherited the resort after your grandmother passed away, after all. Still, along the way you found love, sort of. But considering your current workload, you've put dating on hold. You sit back in your chair and stare levelly at the stack of papers in front of you, trying to set them on fire with your mind. Who would have thought that managing a holiday resort would involve so much paperwork? On second thought, you shove the stack aside, but take 2 sheets off the top of it and grab a couple of envelopes. You hear the door creak open and look up, only to find Yuki. Hey, Tomo. Doing okay? You shake your head and give her a sad smile, waving around the 2 envelopes in your hand. What are those? Ray and Minako's last paychecks. Oh, I'm gonna miss them. Well, hopefully Ray will come back when she's done traveling. I'm not sure about Minako. She still has to finish up university. Where's Ray now? Well, this envelope's going to Spain. Does that answer your question? You stand up and stretch, sliding the envelopes across the table towards her. Can you mail these for me, please? Sure thing, Tomo. By the way, don't you have an appointment with the bank today? Don't remind me. You sag back down onto your chair, groaning. Can't I just put it off and work on pageant prep instead? The Beauty Bounce pageant is a yearly custom at the resort. It takes place in the off-season in order to draw in more customers. You can't think of a more delightful thing than to relax and watch your staff and guests take part in the beauty pageant. Tomo, we've handled this for years. We'll handle all the work here while you go to that appointment. Who's we? We're running out of staff, you know. Yuki crosses her arms and frowns at you. Oh, wild hair in there. Excuse me. Go to the bank. The last thing we want is to get in trouble because you'd rather gawk at girls all day. I'll go find a suit. Yuki smiles warmly at the moment you cave in. Please, she walks towards the door with the envelope in hand. Play nice, Tomo. It's not as though you have much of a choice. You owe the bank a rather reasonable sum of money. Oh, why? Not that you'd ever tell Yuki quite how dire it would be if they suddenly decided they needed a full repayment immediately. This is just... You shake your head and try to bury your frustration. Being kept waiting in a dull office is not how you wanted this day to go. You're snapped out of your muddling by the sound of a door opening and the clack of heels on a wooden floor. Finally, I've got it. Your words are stolen from your mouth as the sight of her. Sorry, what? What? You gulp. A resort to run. Considering it's our investment, we'll be happy to let you go back to it. Sadly, however, this will be a long process. I'm one of the bank's audit agents. You can call me Hiromi. You open your mouth to speak, but she interrupts you. No need to introduce yourself. I'm already familiar with you, Mr. Tomoyo. She gives you a confident smile. You do your very best not to ogle her. Just Tomo's fine. Tomo it is. Well, no need for this to be unpleasant. Coffee? Tea? Coffee, thanks. You watch her saunter around the little office confidently. She presses some buttons on the coffee machine and gathers a small plate of cookies. She pulls out 2 styrofoam cups as she munches away on a cookie. She hands you the plate first. You'd be determined to just grimace your way through the meeting, which you'd imagine was with some stuffy old accountant. Considering you're now eating a rather delicious cookie with a woman, things are starting to look up. I imagine that this is all a rather unpleasant surprise for you. You give Hiromi a grin as she places a cup of coffee in front of you. You take a sip off the rich beverage. Actually, now that you're here, I'd say it's rather pleasant. She smirks and shakes her head. Confident one, aren't you? First things first, as you know, we've invested a considerable sum in Beach Bounce. You've seen the grand total before, and accounting for inflation, she's being rather modest. No less had a low-rate repayment plan that was contractually locked. Such a rate for a sum like that is unheard of. But that contract is up now? At last, yes. Goodness knows how such an arrangement was made in the first place. She gives you a look up and down, then comes curiously before taking a sip from her cup. What's that supposed to mean? How could it have happened then? Well, perhaps in her younger days, your grandmother and the owner came to an agreement. You nearly spit out your drink. You clear your throat and look away. Oh my, Tomo. Do try to keep it together. I believe I'll lose my job if one of my clients chokes to death. I'll take that into consideration. You sigh and settle back down. Settle back down whilst shaking your head. Okay, so how do I re-enter the contract? Hiromi blinks before bursting into laughter. Oh my, you were serious, weren't you? She adjusts herself and straightens up her clothes before taking a moment to sip her drink again. You do realize that rate is highway robbery, yes? It wasn't an issue in the past. At the current rate, it'll take 20 years to repay the loan. Can you imagine the kind of risk we'd be taking if we agreed to that? Beach Bounce has faithfully made each repayment on this loan since construction, but regardless of that fact, it's a huge red blot on our records. No, Tomo, there is very little chance that you'll be able to maintain the repayment rate. And that would only ever happen if an auditor cleared it. You blink in surprise while trying to run the numbers through your head. You being the auditor in question, right? She shrugs, though the smile on her face is a little smug. I know, how awful. I'll have to stay at the resort for a few days, just to audit the paper trails and make sure that everything is in order. Wait. Oh, and also to check how strong and experience you provide during your off-season, which I imagine starts soon. But, and if I remember correctly, you have a special event coming up soon. I have... We've checked your payroll status too. I take it that you've got new hires pending? Of course, but... Why, I'm sure this will be an absolute delight. Draw the line or wait it out. Well, let's save before we make such a rash decision, shall we? Let's wait it out. You bite down on your frustration before it can force you to shout at her. You simply sip your coffee and wait for Hiromi's brief spout of excitement to peter out. When she finally settles back down and pulls out a number of documents, you've already finished your drink. May I continue now? You only had to ask, Tomo. Yeah, right. You're correct on all points. We need to hire more staff, and the resort's got a pageant coming up in the next couple of days. I actually have plans to promote a few of the older staff who've been working there for a while, give them more suitable jobs. Most of our suppliers are fine with the change of management, really. It's only you, the bank, that's kicking up a fuss. Fuss? I believe we've already covered our disagreement. Oh, I believe we've already covered that our disagreement is with good reason. Be that as it may. Give me a moment. Hiromi seems amused, but nonetheless content to finish her drink while you think. When would you turn up? In 2 days. What will you need to do? Go through all of your paperwork and observe your operation in the off-peak season. For how long? She ponders and leans back in her chair, crossing her arms. A couple of days, though I'm sure if all goes well, the bank won't mind me staying a bit longer than planned. Just to make sure everything's kosher, of course. There's a wicked glint in Hiromi's eyes, and for a moment you consider offering her a bribe. Common sense somehow prevails, and you just nod. Okay, still, it's going to be busy. How much attention do you expect from me? Just a bit of your time. I will likely be doing the bulk of the work in the evening. I can hardly get a glimpse of the place running if I'm cooped up inside, doing paperwork all the time, you know. I've come to feel the same way recently, honestly. Hiromi giggles before standing up and offering you her hand. I've no doubt. I will see you again soon, then. There are probably idioms about shaking hands with bankers. Yes, thanks for your time. before anything stupid falls out of your mouth, you opt to get out of here. What? You duck away from a stomping Yuki as you watch her frustration grow. I'd rather not show you the books to prove it. Please, trust me when I say there's no other way. How can they go and pull this out on us out of the blue, though? Turns out Gran was quite favored. The contract needs renewing, and they don't have to renew it under the same terms. Now that you mention it, she did always seem to get along pretty well with the manager whenever he came by. Well, please don't! Don't follow that thought any further down that rabbit hole. Yuki blinks, confused, before her mouth opens slightly. Oh, you mean those two... Yuki! She giggles and sits down. You're glad she has at least calmed down. Plus, it's not all bad. While I was writing the checks earlier, I noticed that there were some unfilled positions. Not just the ones left by Ray and Minako, mind you. Yep, take a look at this. He rummage through the familiar stack of papers and pull out a contract. Wait, are you offering me a promotion? Of course. You've kind of earned it, you know. You wave another piece of paper around. And Aiko will get the same position as staff member. Huh. That's a really good move, actually. So? Oh, right. Yes, I'd love to accept the offer. Good. Welcome aboard again, Yuki. You give her a smile. She surprises you by ducking in for a hug, finishing it with a peck on the cheek. Hopefully, Aiko accepts too. As if she'd ever let you down, Tomo. True. Besides, I need her help for Phase 3 of the staff plan. Phase 3? Persuading your sister to work here full-time, of course. Yuki scoffs and waves her hand at the thought. Neither myself nor your grandma could get her to do more than hang around part-time. You tap your fingers together and grin smugly. But did you have Aiko's help? Really think she'll make that much of a difference? Have faith in me. And after that, it's Phase 4, which is to bring in a newbie. Hopefully Aiko or Sakura knows someone. And you assume I don't? Correct, mostly because you never seem to leave this place, and you would have already gotten them in if you did. Yuki harumphs, though she doesn't argue. She signs the contract, seemingly rather pleased to be putting more paperwork into your to-do pile. With a roll of your eyes, you go out hunting for Aiko. Tomo, what brings you to my neck of the woods? You give yourself a second to put a statement together before shrugging. Well, I have this thing here. I'm pretty sure it's yours. You hold up a piece of paper, and the buxom woman accepts it. Is this a sign-up sheet for the pageant? What? No. You're going to be in it, though, right? Duh. She smiles like sunshine as she looks over the papers. Oh, snap. More money? The general idea is that you also need to do more work for the extra money, too. But yes. More work, too? Please. Aiko snickers and nods. Got a pen. You pat your jacket down, then present the tool to her with a flourish. And there. She hands back over the freshly signed contract, a bright grin on her face. Excellent. And now for your first duty as Beach Bounce's staff manager. Her bright, cheery smile drops into a wary stare. Get Sakura to stay with us full time. Ha! Yeah, right. You're actually serious, aren't you? We need her. She's been asked before, you know, and you know what her answer was back then. But she wasn't asked by you. Aiko throws her hands in the air in feigned surrender. I won't even argue. I'll at least give it a try. Right by the coffee shop, as you'd expect, it's Sakura. If it isn't my favorite people. Everyone's your favorite people. Yeah, but I love you two the most. Well, maybe since we're the ones asking. Aiko approaches Sakura with her hips swaying, but Sakura just looks confused. You see, we need a new greeter. Nobody's better at it than you are. Sakura scoffs, waving her hand dismissively. I'm already plenty busy. You know I'm booked up. Of course you could free some time and spend a few more hours with us instead. You place yourself on the side of Sakura, waiting for Aiko and leaning in. Please, it doesn't have to be for long, just a couple of weeks. Come on, Tomo, I'm not suited to hang around in one place all day. She's pulled into a hug by Aiko. It all but smothers her with chest as she grumbles. Aiko gives you a wink and leans down to whisper in her ear. Please. You stand back and observe as Sakura squirms and shivers. She never stood a chance. Alright, we're getting through this, step by step. I'm still amazed. How'd you do it? Trade secret, Yuki. Tomo, no telling. Yuki stares at you. You shrug. You heard Aiko. Trade secret. I'm not about to make her mad. I know she'd win in a fight. Yuki pouts, but eventually relents and takes a seat. Next phase, then. Right. Aiko? Keeping me busy, I see. Be glad I've been promoted too, but it seems like all I'm doing now is the paperwork he doesn't want to touch. It's been half a day. Have a little faith. You're working on the pageant prep, right? True. Who else is joining the pageant anyway? Well, it's not meant to be a massive event, is it? Probably not many other people. There's you, of course, Aiko, and in the next day or so, we'll be having a preliminary round for guest entrance. Boo, I need more competition. I bet there won't be many auditions. Well, Aiko, on the way here, you mentioned that you knew someone who was looking for a job, right? Right, she's lovely and adorable. I met her out at a club when I was there with Sakura. With Sakura? She's sweet and innocent. Don't even try to claim otherwise. She gives you a no-nonsense stare, and Yuki looks at you with confusion. Noted. Anyway, do you think she'd be willing to work here? She's young and cute, broke, staying with family, and fresh out of school. She'd be crazy not to. What can I offer her? I have the perfect idea, actually. I'll get the contract ready. I'd like to meet with her first, of course, although I'm sure you wouldn't recommend someone who wasn't good enough. Aiko flashes you a thumbs up and skips out of the room. Oh, and let her know that she's in the pageant. Really? Yep. I mean, we could always use more contestants. We have people to impress, you know. Yuki sighs in defeat. That's if she accepts. With Aiko asking, I'm sure it'll be fine. That's a lot of blind faith. Any of the plans you have hidden in the tank? Oh, enter the pageant. Just one, though I wouldn't call it a plan so much as hopeful thinking. And that would be? Please enter the pageant too, Yuki. What? Heat creeps up to her cheeks and she stares you down. Come on, we could really use as many participants as we can get. Not to mention that I know you'd be great. I was going to be the announcer. Leave that to Sakura. She isn't taking part? Of course not. She said she wouldn't do it. Okay, but still, I don't want to. Why not? It's embarrassing. But you're really pretty and funny. You'll do great. On top of that, the bigger the pageant, the better your odds. Odds of what? Impressing Hiromi and the bank. Hiromi's the auditor? You nod. Yuki groans, throwing her arms into the air, letting out a frustrated growl. Fine, I'll do it, but I won't enjoy it. She'll totally enjoy it. Come on, Tomo. Staying in bed would be wonderful, but you've got much work to do. You roll out of bed, then clean yourself up and get changed as quickly as you can. A knock at your door gives you just enough time to tug your clothes on. You finally open it to find Sakura. As is usual for her in the morning, she looks half dead. In her hand, she's holding an empty styrofoam cup. You assume it once had coffee in it. So... yeah? Darn. Too late to... She pauses, yawning widely. Pouncing you while you're changing. Another time, I guess. Right. She gives you a grin and tosses the disposable cup into your bin while yawning and stretching again. Much better. So, what do I actually do? As a greeter? You hang around, greet people, be nice, and point people in the right directions when they ask for them. Are you sure it's something I'm suited to do? Well, Minako was good at it. Primarily with adults, though. In your case, I think you've got a niche. Are you seriously implying that I don't appeal to adults? She gives you a look that's half challenge and half smoldering lust. Point taken. I just mean that I think you'll be great with children. I think you'll do fine. Just be you. I'm always me. And you'll be fine. She smirks. You lead her out of your room. Let's go get some work done. Tomo, are you in here? You look up from the never-diminishing pile of paperwork. Yep, what's up? Aiko reaches behind the ajar door and pulls out a shy young girl. Here, meet our latest hire. The girl looks shell-shocked. You give her as reassuring a smile as you can muster before pushing the pile of papers aside. Hi there. As you just heard, I'm Tomo. No need to call me boss or anything like that. As if you could get anyone to do that anyway. And who doles out the checks every payday? Aye, boss. Aiko giggles while you shake your head. So, would you please introduce yourself, miss? The unnamed girl sits down in front of you, Aiko popping down beside her. I'm Chiasa. Here's my resume. She hands you a mostly empty sheet with her education listed on it. Thankfully, she's of legal age. It's a good start. Thanks, Chiasa. Luckily, you've already got the best reference on your side. I do? Me, of course. Chiasa looks like a deer in headlights. You slide over her contract. I know that this is sudden and probably doesn't feel very professional, but he's just very friendly. I was going to say new to this, but sure. I'll show you the ropes. After that, your job is just to help out. Help out? Yeah, essentially you'll go from place to place as it gets busier throughout the day. Help the other employees when they need it. Chiasa seems somewhat relieved at the thought of not working alone. Also, how good are you at swimming? She ponders the question for a moment. Pretty good. I live near water for most of my life. That's some good news right there. Our regular for teaching swimming lessons is gone for a little while. A little while? Yeah, she's off traveling. Like, for a while longer. Don't worry, I wouldn't just toss you straight into teaching without instructions. If you're sure that's okay. Of course. Just, tell me if we give you more than you can handle at once. Okay. Yuki knocks on the wall, considering the door. Wait. Yuki knocks on the wall, considering the open door, then walks in. Hi, Tomo. Are you Oh, hello there. Hi. Oh, girl sure is timid. I'm Yuki. Are you our new hire, perchance? I sure hope she is. The small girl fidgets on her seat before nodding. Yes, I'm Chiasa. It's nice to meet you, Yuki. She loosens up slightly when Yuki responds with a smile. If you're busy right now, I can come back later. Is it about the pageant? Pageant? Oh, snap. I was going to mention it, but I forgot. You didn't ask her to join it yet? Right, I forgot. Chiasa, would you be willing to take part in the beauty pageant that's coming up in a few days? Every newbie does it at least once. Aiko turns to the puppy eyes in Chiasa's direction. The small girl wilts. Sure. I mean, what would I need to do? There's a talent show, swimsuit competition, and lingerie competition. You're not sure that you were ever actually told about any of that. This week is suddenly looking up. I'm not sure I'd be a good fit for those kinds of things. Please, you're really cute. You do well, I swear. Chiasa crumbles under the pressure of reaching for a pen to sign her work contract. Alright, I'll do the thing. Yuki lets out a sigh of relief from behind Chiasa. You have to try hard not to do the same thing. Aiko just grins. Glad to hear it. Sorry if you're a little overwhelmed. Aiko, can you help her get a uniform and show her to a dressing room? Sure thing. Come on, T. I'll show you around. Aiko gives Chiasa a warm smile before they exit the room together, leaving you and Yuki in peace. So, you were saying? Just that we're going to start the guest blimps today. Damn. Huh? I'm going to be training Chiasa, so I won't get to watch. Pig. You give her a joking grin, and her frown melts into a smile. What do you think of her? Will she be okay? super shy, but it's cute in its own right. She'll probably do well in the pageant. I'm there for the job. Heck, if the job could make me into someone responsible and happy, I'm sure she'll have no business issues with it. If you say so. That said, I should probably keep her away from Sakura for at least a day. Yuki snorts with laughter, shaking her head. When she sits down, you both get to work on the stack of papers. The companionable silence of work comes to an end when Yuki stretches and stands. Right, well, I've got a prelim to go help with. You should probably find Chiasa and not... Here. Here? The two girls walk in, Aiko giving you and Yuki a grin. We found some stuff that fits her. No problem. Aiko turns to Chiasa and pats her on the back. Good luck, Key. You'll be great. Finally, Aiko turns back to us. Yuki? I'm going now. Great, let's go. Aiko and Yuki head out the door together, leaving Chiasa and you alone for the first time. Are you sure about all of this? Is it really okay for me to jump in like this? Sure I am, but are you? We dumped it all on you pretty suddenly. I'm worried that it's too good to be true, if I'm honest. She stares at you as though she's trying to read some sort of secret off your face. Nope, I felt the same way when I first started here, you know? Turns out that it's just the side effect of being employed at a resort. Now, let's get started. Looks like we missed the ending of the prelims. I'm sorry. Don't be. You did a great job. You spent most of the day with Chiasa showing her the ropes. After that, you taught swimming lessons while she shadowed you. I didn't do much. You followed, you listened, and hopefully you learned too. Seems like you did a great job to me. Are you really sure? She's going to need to work on that confidence. Maybe the pageant will actually be good for her. The contract you signed is almost identical to the one I had when I first started here. I certainly look like I know what I'm doing, right? Uh-huh. I don't see myself suddenly becoming the owner, though. How long since you took over? Oh, I'm here thanks to my grandmother. She passed, leaving the deed to me. It wasn't long ago at all. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to... It's fine. Really. She did right by me. You give Chiasa a smile, and she relaxes again. If you say so. I do. But now it's time to take a break and relax. Shouldn't be anything else that needs to get done this evening. After escorting Chiasa back to where she is staying and returning home yourself, you head straight to bed, feeling weary. Oh. What's up with this hair in my nose? This is driving me crazy. I mean the extra hair in my nose, not the ones that's normally there. I mean, those drive me crazy too. Hiromi's due to arrive tomorrow, but there's still plenty left to show Chiasa. Another bright, shiny day. You get changed and ready with a hint of reluctance. You're tempted to put on some nicer clothing. But there wouldn't be much point. You throw your beach bounce uniform and make your way over to the resort. You barely turn the corner when you bump into a familiar face. Yeah. Here you are. I've been looking for you. You're caught off guard as you realize Chiasa is also approaching you. I guess I talked to Hiromi. Oh, yes. Good to see you again, Hiromi. You flash her your award-winning smile and she grins coyly in return. Finally back to here, Tomo. I was wondering if there was something you could help me with this evening. If I'm free, I'd be glad to. Also, I'm pleased to introduce you to Chiasa, one of our new hires. Hi. Chiasa gives a shy little wave to Hiromi. For a moment, you're reminded of prey wandering into a lion's den. Why, it's a pleasure to meet you, sweetie. Chiasa must get the same feeling. She glances at you imploringly before anything can happen. As much as you're tempted to see where the moment will go, you nod and walk closer to them. Well, I don't want to be late for her next day of training. Aren't you going to watch the finale of the guest pageant then? I wish I could. At least it'll be a surprise when I get to see the winner in the main pageant. Is cute little Chiasa entering the main pageant? You give Hiromi a grin. I wouldn't dare spoil a surprise like that for one of my guests. After getting Chiasa away from the surprisingly forward Hiromi, you show her around some more. She's a natural when she doesn't know you're watching her. You're woken by a buzzing and beeping from your phone. You reach out blindly and grab it. Hello? You open your eyes, realizing it's just a text. Yuki's asking if you'll come to the pre-show meeting for the pageant in an hour. You respond with an affirmative. You give yourself time to relax, napping for another half hour before getting ready. As it turns out, you shouldn't have done that. You're basically rushing out the door, about to be late. You're trying not to look like you're dashed the whole way here when you walk in. In the circle sits Yuki, Aika, Chiasa, and an elegant girl you've never seen before. She and Aiko seem to be in a stare-down. You make yourself known by clearing your throat. Glad you could join us, boss. She smirks at you under her glasses, and you feign a wound through the heart. Okay, so you know most of us, but this lady here. Yuki indicates to the unknown woman with a wave of her hand. The woman stands to attention, smiling demurely. I'm Emiko. I won the preliminary round of the guest pageant. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. Oh, please, don't you be formal. I'm Tomo. A pleasure to meet you. You give her a warm smile and bow your head politely. She giggles. This meeting is just to make sure everyone knows what's going on. Right. Want to take the lead, Yuki? She smiles and nods, adjusting her glasses imperiously. The pageant is broken up into 3 events. Each event takes place in the early afternoon over a series of 3 days. There's the talent show, the swimming competition, and the lingerie modeling. You smirk and shake your head at the moment of shyness. With a quick peek, you notice that Chiasa's gone bright red. Is everyone ready for the events? Yes, I think so. Emiko smiles at Chiasa and pats her on the head. I've decided that I like you. Thanks, Miss Emiko. Emiko smiles brightly before facing you again. Also, your resort is lovely. Thank you for the opportunity to participate in the pageant. It should be fun. You give her a smile before watching all of the girls filter out. They're barely gone a moment before. At least the room is cozy. Yeah. Swallowing my hair. Hiromi yawns. Hiromi yawns loudly as she fetches what appears to be a cup of coffee and a donut. Her exhausted face briefly reminds you of morning Sakura. She sits down and you grab breakfast for yourself, sitting opposite Hiromi. Those were the pageant girls, huh? Ah, yes. Shame I won't get the chance to take part. She smirks at you from across the rim of her cup. You suspect she'd be a runaway victor. I have a feeling the bank wouldn't be too appreciative of the auditor prancing around in her underwear in public. I think I'd look rather incredible like that, quite frankly. That's not what I was getting at. She snickers while eating her donut, carelessly getting cream on her nose. She wipes it away with the tip of her finger and slowly licks it clean. I know, I merely like to play around. No kidding. You fidget on your seat. Hiromi notices, beaming at you like a cat with a bowl of milk. As nice it is that the owner is having breakfast with a simple guest like myself. You have something you'd like to request? Correct. Should you have any free time in the evening? She reaches into her pocket, pulling out a card with her number on it. Give me a ring. We'll do some work. Sure. Yuki should be at the reception desk right now. Get a key from the staff room from her. Please, don't knock over the stack of papers on my desk. It's organized chaos at this point. I'll be sure to avoid it. She yawns again before busying herself with more food. You decide to take the opportunity to flee. She's not that bad, I guess, but I'd like her more if she hadn't come here to potentially close the whole resort down. See you later, then. I'll be at the pageant. I expect lots of flaunting. I will pass along your request. Okay, why don't we stop it there? This is audap. We've been watching Beauty Bounce on Nintendo Switch. Well, it seems like a fairly innocuous playful visual novel. Unfortunately, obviously, there is no animation outside of scene wipes and screen clears, and no voice acting, obviously. So you're having to listen to me give you like 7 different female voices, of which none of them are different from each other. So I'm sorry if it's a little confusing. I just don't have that many ranges for female voices. I think it's promising. I mean, it seems like I said, it seems like a fun little visual novel, a little tantalizing for the art. But again, nothing that I think would be too offensive to people, unless they just don't like romance visual novels at all. So if you're one of those people, then stay away. But if you don't mind like a lighthearted, harem style visual novel, then I think this is probably worth it. It's only like $4, so it's not very expensive. Yeah, so check it out if you like these style of romantic comedies. I do personally. I don't know if we'll play it all the way through, but I'll try to get it in here and there. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.